Hi there, and welcome to Gimme 2. My name is Mark, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing the game of American football in just 2 minutes. Now, for quick clarification, when I say the word football throughout this video, I am referring to American football, as opposed to soccer, which is what the rest of the world calls football. As always, if you are interested in understanding how the game works, that is the 2 minutes and it is time-stamped in the description. But if you stick around for a couple of minutes, I go through some history and context of the game that might be worth sticking around for. Football is the best sport. I think that's really all the context you need. We can go straight to the 2 minutes. Jokes aside, football is my favorite sport. I'm even sporting the first jersey I ever owned, so it goes a little bit back. And the National Football League, or the NFL, which is its most popular league, generates more money than any other sports league in the world at over $18 billion in 2021. Now, granted, soccer has many different soccer leagues like La Liga or the Premier League, which cumulatively will generate more, but as an individual league, the NFL is the most lucrative. Also, as rules differ slightly from one football league to another, this video is going to focus on the NFL, the overwhelmingly most popular football league, although college football is also extremely popular in America. Football gets its name and its roots from rugby football, in contrast with association football, which Americans call soccer. And it first made its way to America in the late 19th century as a college sport. The NFL, however, was established in the 1920s. As of 2021, an NFL regular season is 17 games long. It used to be 16. Followed by a postseason where the best teams play elimination games, culminating with the championship game, which is known as the Super Bowl. An NFL football field is 120 yards long by 53.33333 bar, or 160 feet wide. The 10 yards at either end of the length of the field are called end zones. Yours on one side, your opponent's on the other, and these factor into scoring. The middle 100 yards of length is called the field of play, and this is where the plays, or attempts to advance the ball forward, are performed. Anything outside of this rectangle is essentially off the field of play and is known as out of bounds. There must be up to 11 players on the field for each team for each play. Otherwise, a penalty will be called. The 11 players on offense, who are trying to score, are made up of a quarterback who controls the team and typically throws the ball, running backs who typically run with the ball, wide receivers and tight ends who typically catch the ball, and linemen who protect the quarterback and the running backs. The 11 players on defense, who are trying to stop the opponent's offense, are composed of linemen who try to tackle the quarterback and the running backs, linebackers who try to stop shorter plays, and the secondary who try to stop the longer plays. There are also 11 players for each team that are on special teams. These are non-offensive or defensive kicking plays that often determine the position of each team on the field or certain scoring plays, but more on that shortly. The 11 players on special teams consist of a kicker or a punter who either tries to score or influence the opponent's field position, linemen who either try to protect or, on the other side, block or pressure the kick or the punt, and in non-scoring kicking plays, a return man who can catch the ball off of a kick and attempt to return it to the other team's end zone for either a score if he returns it all the way down the field, or better field position if he doesn't. Now that you've gotten some context on the history of the sport, the way the teams are formed, what the field looks like, we can talk about how the game is actually played. So we can start that 2 minutes now. The objective of the game is to score more points than your opponent over the course of 4 15-minute quarters, which is called regulation, or overtime if the game is tied at the end of regulation. You can score by advancing the ball offensively or returning it defensively down the field to your opponent's end zone for a touchdown worth 6 points, or by kicking the ball through a structure called uprights for a field goal worth 3 points. Following a touchdown, the scoring team can attempt an additional point by kicking the ball through uprights, or an additional 2 points by advancing the ball into the end zone in one attempt. Defenses can also earn 2 points by stopping offenses in their own end zone, called a safety. When a team's offense has the football, called possession, they can move the ball toward their opponent's end zone by throwing the football, usually from a quarterback to an eligible receiver, or running the football, usually by a running back. Penalties associated with breaking rules of formation or contact with the other team can also result in the change in field position for or against the offense. With each possession, the offense has 4 attempts, called downs, to score. These attempts are reset if they can move the position of the ball, called the line of scrimmage, 10 yards closer to their opponent's end zone. If they do not score in 4 downs, then the opponents will take possession from that point, and their offense will attempt to score in the opposite direction. When you likely won't score, you can drop kick or punt the ball, forcing your opponent to take possession with worse field position. Defenses, meanwhile, try to stop the opponent's offense. They do this by either preventing the offense from catching the ball, tackling the player with the ball, or forcing the player with the ball to step off of the field, ending the play. If a defensive player catches an offensive player's throw, called an interception, or if a player loses handle of the ball before the play is over, called a fumble, and a player from the other team picks up the ball, then possession changes to the other team. And that's how football is played. I know that there's a lot of information in this video, but it is a pretty complex game. I had a lot of fun making it. I didn't really do a lot of research because I'm very, very familiar with the sport, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all good things. Let people know about it. I'd love to continue making videos, and I hope you join me for the next one. Thanks so much for watching.